विचारां पूरे इतिहास सरवण करोगे बेसिक्स ऑफ सिख दे नौजवान सेवादार एक मंच तो के गुरु जस सरवण करन दी कृपा करो दास ने भुला बख्शण दी वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह।
सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जी। सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जी। मूक उचरा शास्त्र खट पिंग किरण चर जाई। आंद लखा बदरो सुना जो काल कृपा कराए। कहा बुझ प्रभ तुच्छ हमारी वर्ण सका महिमा जो तिहारी। हम न सकत कर सिफत तुम्हारी आप लिहो तुम कथा सुधारी। हम न सकत कर सिफत तुम्हारी आप लिहो तुम कथा सुधारी। गुरु प्यारी साध संगत जी गाज बाज के फतेह प्रवान करो जी। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। साध संगत जी नाल प्रबंधक का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जिन्होंने समा बख्शिया होया नौजवानों वास्ते था उन्होंने वास्ते जिन्होंने पूरी पंजाबी की समझ नहीं आती। सो इस करके जो संगत का हुक्म होया कि कुछ समय ਲਈ अंग्रेजी ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਿਚਾਰਾ ਹੁਣ ਆਰੰਭ ਕਰੀਏ ਜੀ। So with Guru Sahib's kirpa,
the itihas and also the build-up Bandi Chhorr Divas that we celebrated a few days ago, and hopefully rather than the itihas that we all take inspiration from and that many of us will be familiar with the actual episode of Bandi Chhorr, just taking our time now to reflect and also learn about the build-up and the many, many Sakhis that come along the way. So, just to give a bit of context to the background as to what was happening in the Guru's house at that time, and also in the Tarti of India at that time, is we now see Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj in the early 17th century, late 16th century, become the Guru after the Shahidi of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, their father. And India at that time was under the regime of the Mughal Empire that was headed by Jahangir, the ruler of the time. And he was the father of, he was the son of Akbar, who was the third emperor of the Mughal Empire at that time, and also who had a lot of pyar with the Guru's Ghar. So he became ruler of Mughal Empire in 1605. And we also have another prominent figure from that time, a very important figure from that time, whose name is Chandu Shah. And he was the vizier, he was the governor of Lahore. And although Lahore is no longer in India today, pre-partition, before 1947, Lahore is a very, very important city within India and also Punjab at the time. We even know that Maharaja Ranjit Singh Ji's capital, if you like, was Lahore. So Lahore was by no means any small place, any small state. And for Chandu Shah to be the governor of it, he would have most definitely been someone of very high significance and prominence. And trying to summarize where this whole enmity, this hatred, this dislike of the Guru's Ghar for Chandu Shah emerged from, we go back to one episode in particular in which Chandu Shah had asked the Brahmins, had asked the priests at that time of the Hindu faith to go out and find a partner for his daughter. And as the Brahmins would do, and even still do today, in the same way I guess we have Vichole, they approached the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, and at the time Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And they saw that Guru Arjan Dev Ji and their son Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, who had not become the Guru yet, were very well respected. They were of a saintly nature, and they showed a lot of love. This proposal was given back to Chandu Shah, who laughed in the face of this proposal and said rude words to the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, words along the lines of, who are those beggars that sit on a throne all day and do nothing? And after insulting Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj on the throne of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the Sangat did a benti to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj to say that, Guru Sahib, please ensure that this rishta does not happen. Because of the disrespect Chandu has said and the disrespect Chandu has done against the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, please do not accept this marriage proposal. And in addition to that, a few other factors, this marriage proposal was rejected. Now, this was one of many, many things that aggravated and irritated Chandu and made his blood boil, even though it was him that sowed the seeds for that rejection. So that's Chandu Shah. We also have Baba Priti Chand, who is the elder brother of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And in essence, we have Chandu Shah leading with other factors such as Baba Priti Chand, all trying to manipulate Jahangir, the emperor, fill words into his ears, and get Guru Arjan Dev Ji within their grasp, and eventually leading to the Shahidi of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Now, one word in particular, I was listening to the Katha of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj from Surat Prakash, and it details the conversations between Chandu Shah and Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And within that Katha, we hear that Chandu refers to himself as a dog. And he says that he says to Guru Arjan Dev, you've rejected my marriage proposal. I will now chase you like a dog and I will not stop until I have got what I wanted. And it's said that Guru Arjan Dev Ji in reply says, Chalo, kutte mangui marunga. If you're going to chase me like a dog, then one day you'll die like a dog as well. So that's something just to bear in mind, as we'll come back to within a few moments. So now Chandu sees the emergence of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, and again starts becoming irritated, starts becoming angry at the fact that Sikhi is blossoming, and also Sikhi has taken a slightly different direction and has blossomed under Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj. So with Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, we see the introduction of this Miri Piri essence within Sikhi, that now a time has come for a Fauj to be tiyar par tiyar, and also for our own governance at Sri Akal Takht Sahib that was created by Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, so that now we have our own political sphere and we can govern ourselves and make the right decisions for the Panth. It was said that Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj created the first army of the Panth, the Akal Sena, in which there were 2,200 horsemen, tiyar par tiyar, forever ready as a minimum. And upon seeing this, Chandu Shah addressed many, many people, prominent figures within the court of Lahore, one of them being Beg Khan. And he starts stirring the pot, if you like, with all of these statements, trying to worry the court of Lahore, and eventually hoping that this will catch Jahangir's attention. So he starts saying things like Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji has changed the Maryada, changed the laws and the rules and the regulations of Jahangir's court. He's made his own court. He's preparing for war. And all of these people in Punjab have started flocking to him. This is something that you, as the governors, you as Jahangir should be worried about. And this needs to be sorted out before it gets too late and out of control. So he's scaremongering, and we do know that Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji created an army, but not necessarily to attack anyone, but to defend Sikhi for the upcoming events. Now Jahangir catches rift of this and sends a vizier, sends a messenger, sends a representative to Amritsar Sahib to meet Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, and his name is Vizier Khan. Now Saad Sangat Ji, it's really important not to get this Vizier Khan mixed up with the Vizier Khan of the 1700s, who himself led the onslaught of many, many Sikhs for many, many years. Quite to the contrary, this Vizier Khan actually became a Sikh of the Guru. And upon meeting Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, he falls in love with Sikhi, and also takes the Sharan, takes the blessings of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. Now, after explaining the situation to Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, Guru Sahib accepts to meet Jahangir face to face. So, as they attend Delhi and as they're entering Delhi and heading towards Jahangir, Guru Sahib meets many, many people. And one of the people they meet is Bir Sikandar Shah. And this Sadh Sangat Ji, upon that path, upon that journey, there were many, many instances. Unfortunately, we haven't got time right now to go through all of them, but I've handpicked a few, this being one of them. And as the second day in Delhi, Jahangir still hasn't met Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And they wanted someone on their behalf to go and get a bit of information, do a bit of research, and see what Guru Sahib was all about before they met them themselves, in an attempt at a bit of preparation before the meeting. So Jahangir sends a Pir Pikandar Shah, Pir meaning saintly person or spiritual person. And they said that there was a lot of discussion, and Pir Sikandar Shah was very, very pleased and very satisfied with all of Guru Sahib's answers, and again felt very, very blessed. One of the main questions was that, what's the link between the world and Rabb? What's the link between Waheguru and the world? Because as we know, the Dharam of Islam, many Muslims believe that Waheguru is not submerged within the creation, it's a separate entity. And for any of you that have gone and spoken to preachers within town centers, this is the first thing they love talking about and raise questions upon, unfortunately for them. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj referred to the Pankti, Tohi Mohi Mohi Tohi Antar Kaisa, Kanaka Kataka Jal Taranga Jaisi. And they described this relationship between Waheguru and the world to describe that there's no difference between me and you ourselves. And we are like gold to a bracelet and water to a wave. We're all part of the same thing, just in slightly different forms. And upon hearing this, Pir Pikandar Shah realized the power of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji and who truly they were, Waheguru themselves upon this world. And again, Pir Sikandar Shah goes back and praises Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. So now we come to the meeting of Jahangir and Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj. And after this first test had been passed, if you like, Jahangir welcomes Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji into their court and they have a discussion. And Aitihasik Granths date this to 1616, so just over a couple hundred years ago. And upon hearing this and having a discussion and even just having darshan of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, Jahangir is said to be very, very happy and very, very impressed. And the Granths write that it was as if Jahangir melted like a candle. They fell in love with Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji so much, and Guru Sahib had such an impression on them that they wanted to spend even more time with Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji and within their sanctuary. So as a result, Guru Sahib was asked by Jahangir to come hunting with them, and Jahangir even went to the extent of donating 500 rupees to the Guru's langar. Now this is important to remember that this is the same Jahangir who had a hand in the Shahidi of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And many may question, well, why is Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji mingling with Jahangir? Sadh Sangat Ji, it's important to remember a few things in this sense. The truth is we'll never truly know why Guru Sahib did certain things. Oh, onadi khushiya, that's Guru Sahib's mauj. But we can try to understand certain things from our lens. One of the reasons may have been, well, the first reason is because Guru Sahib does not hold enmity with anyone. They don't hold hatred for anyone. Now that's important not to get mixed up with we let people walk over us, because as we'll see later, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji most definitely didn't let people walk over them. And neither should we. But at the same time, they don't hold grudges. And Sadh Sangat Ji, you have to remember that Guru Sahib doesn't have the same vision we have. They can see the bigger picture. They can see where this will lead to. Whereas we live day by day. And as we'll see in a few slides, just out of this meeting with Jahangir leads to Gwalior Fort. And within that, so many other blessings are given to Gursikhs as well. So Guru Sahib is listening to thousands upon hundreds of thousands of Ardasa and planning all those in at the same time. We're just thinking about one sphere and one lens. So it's important to remember these things because quite often these questions arise within our minds. Now, just going back to the Sakhi, you can imagine Chandu's plan is going out the window at this point, and he's even more irritated, even more annoyed that his Chorr, his strength, is not becoming of anything with all of his efforts. So now we go to a hunting expedition between Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji and Jahangir. And they were hunting around the area of Agra, which is not too far from Delhi. If any of you have been to Agra, you would have seen the Lal Killa and the Taj Mahal, etc. It's quite famous for tourists. And they approached this forest, and this forest was famous in recent times for a lion being on the loose. And people local to that forest within Agra had complained many times to the Mughal regime that this lion is aggravating us, comes and attacks our people. Something needs to be done about it. But putting that aside for a second, this is one of the mini Sakhis, if you like, we hear throughout this big Sakhi. And as Guru Sahib and Jahangir set up their tents within that forest for the night, there was a very shy Gursikh who had longed and yearned to do the darshan of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji for many, many years. And whenever they had gone to Guru Sahib within their darbar, and there were many, many hundreds of people surrounding Guru Sahib, they had all got very, very shy and intimidated to think, who am I to go up to the Guru? Will Guru Sahib even recognize me? I don't want to go up and embarrass myself. And out of humility and their own nirmarata, they never quite had the courage to actually go up to Guru Sahib and take their blessings. So they'd always stay quite far back. Now this Gursikh actually lived very close to these forests within Agra, and they had heard that Guru Sahib was on a hunting expedition with Jahangir, and they realized that now this is their chance. And something quite funny emerges of this story. So this Gursikh, as we all do when we come to the Guru's car, or we should do, prepared some pirta. They weren't very well off, but they found a coin that they wanted to give as pirta. And we do the same, we give money, or we give phal to Guru Sahib, or we give langar, whatever it is. And just as was tradition then, Sangat would go and give pirta to Guru Sahib. And upon attending this forest, they found all of these tents, and they were quite unsure, where is the tent of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji? And they saw a very royal looking tent, a magnificent tent, fit for a king. And they entered thinking that this must be the tent of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And it's important to remember, they'd never actually had darshan of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. They'd never really got close enough to see Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji in the flesh, as it were. So they walk in and they matha take, and they give this pirta of this coin. And mistakenly, he actually entered the tent of Jahangir. Now Jahangir was very taken aback by this. Jahangir being the ruler of the empire of the Mughal at that point. This empire, Sahib Singh Ji, is important to remember the scale of how big the Mughals were. It's said that they were the wealthiest, and demographically, in terms of the land they possessed, were the richest as well empire within the 17th century. So Jahangir was no ordinary person, and he would have had a lot of people come to him and give him sweet words. But he was taken back by this Gursikh because he saw that this person was very genuine within the Sharda they had. And they've come to get some blessings from me from the bottom of their heart. And they also offered me a little bit of money. And they were very intrigued, and they were very happy at the same time. And they asked that Gursikh to sit up and said, I'm very happy with how you've approached me. Ask for anything you want and I'll grant it. Houses, money, land, riches, anything. Ask for what is it you desire, tell me. And upon this Gursikh coming back up, they said that, Hey Garib Nawaz Sacha Pacha, hey Guru Sahib, please save me from dukh within this life and the next. Please save me from any suffering within this life and the next life, wherever that takes me. And upon hearing this, Jahangir, within his own mind, started trembling, because he'd realized the truth of what was occurring. He'd realized that this person hasn't come for me. This person's actually got mixed up and has come for Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And the reason they realized that was because they also reflected within that moment to realize that they are the ruler of this world in a worldly sense. But whatever comes next, they have no limit or no control over. And for that reason, they'd realized that they'd actually come to see Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. So they replied to this Gursikh to say, I can offer you anything you want within this world, but the next world is not in my control. Ask for anything within this world. And at that point, the Guru Sikh realized, took back his peta and walked back out. And then upon approaching the trend of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, Guru Sahib again did matha tek to Guru Sahib, offered their peta, and Guru Sahib was very, very happy with their sharda, happy with their faith, and blessed them to say that I'll protect you within this world and the next, wherever it goes. I was listening to this Sakhi, it brought back a pankti that is very familiar, and I reflect on quite a bit. And it's probably one of the things that got me into Sikhi the most, was this thought of what happens when we go, what happens in the world next. Because there aren't many things upon where do we go after. And this is one of the many assurances, and one of the things we get through that relationship between a Guru and a Sikh. And the pankti comes to mind from Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, that Satguru Sikh ka halat palat swara. What is the relationship between a Satguru and their Sikh? Satguru Sikh ka, what does a Satguru do for his Sikh? Halat within this world, palat within the next world, swara, sarakosh swar dandiya. Now, even though we have no idea where we'll be going within the next world, Guru Sahib gives the assurance that jithe pahunchana utthe mein kya rakhuga. Wherever you end up, I'll look after you. And that's something very important for us to realize, that wasn't just on offer for that Sikh looking for Guru Sahib within those forests of Agra, but we have the same Guru Sahib now, and the same offering now, the same Gurbani now, and Guru Sahib offers that same assurance for us here today, if we become their Sikh. So just moving forward a little bit, we now start to emerge towards the Sakhi of Bandi Chhorr. And how does Guru Sahib actually end up in Gwalior Fort? So at this point, one thing I forgot to mention was the lion. If we cast our mind back to the lion, the morning after, or a few mornings after, Guru Sahib is on this hunting expedition with his army, with his commandment. And the lion that they'd heard rumors of, the lion that they'd heard reports of, approached Jahangir's army. And upon seeing this lion, the men of Jahangir, the soldiers of Jahangir, fled for their lives. And as this lion is approaching Jahangir, he's left isolated on his own, and he seeks refuge from Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj and shouts towards Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj to protect them. And as many of us, as you can see in this picture, you would have seen, it's a very famous picture in Guru Cars. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj with their tal, with the shield, deflected the lion with one blow, and then cut through the lion with the other, killing it instantly. It's very easy to talk about killing a lion, but any of us that have gone to a zoo or even seen a wild animal for that sense know that we don't really want to get too close, let alone try and take on a lion. And that shows the strength of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj. They were more than 6 foot. It's said that they had a very, very broad set of shoulders, and they were so strong that with their fingers, between their top finger and their thumb, they could wipe off the face of a coin. Now, if any of you get a chance after, get a pound coin out and try and rub off the Rani's face. Your fingers will end up bleeding or something. That was the strength of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, that with their fingers, with their thumb, they could wipe off the face of a coin. So now moving back after this episode, and after obviously saving the life of Jahangir, Jahangir feels indebted towards Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, and the relationship becomes very, very positive between Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj and Jahangir. So not only with Jahangir, but the people around him and the general Mughals, Musliman, Hindus within that area all started to fall in love with Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji and became Sikhs within their own right, had faith within Guru Sahib and took the blessings of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj. So now again, Chandu sitting in Lahore is hearing reports of all of this and is growing ever anxious and ever more angry. The first attempt didn't come to fruition. Now he's tried to meet Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji with Jahangir, and it's turned totally opposite to what he wished. And now he's planning another scheme, a last attempt to try and get at Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji to one submit to marrying his daughter, because that obviously was very embarrassing for him, or to cause the demise of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. So what he does is there's an astrologer, a Brahmin, a priest, that's very well known to the Mughal court. And Jahangir himself, although a Muslim, had a lot of bharosa, a lot of faith within this priest, within this Brahmin, and would listen to the words of him. Now, Chandu, being a man of a lot of power and a lot of wealth, ended up bribing this Brahmin to try and feed lies into the head of Jahangir with an attempt to get at Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji again. So he bribes this astrologer and offers him crazy amounts of wealth with the condition that you need to go to Jahangir and tell him a grave illness, a grave disease is upon him. And in order to save himself, in order to free himself from this disease, from this illness, he needs to find a very spiritual, japi-tapi person to do a jaap for him, to do a prayer for him, to meditate for him for 41 days. And I want you to coerce Jahangir, and I'll help you myself in order to making sure that it's Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And if this works, we can imprison them and I can finish them off there myself. So the astrologer, the Brahmin, approaches Jahangir, and Jahangir is trembling. He's in fear, he's anxious of this disease that's on his way, and he believes every word of it. And he sends out a hukam, who would like to do this for me? And every time a response came back from a qazi, from a Muslim priest, or a Brahmin from a different mandir, every time that astrologer would feed lies into the ears of Jahangir and say, this person isn't spiritual enough, this person won't work, we need someone more, we need someone greater. And after a few attempts and no luck, in conversation with Jahangir, Chandu suggests Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And they offer very, very sweet words. They say that, hey Jahangir, you become best friends with Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. There's no one more spiritual than him. There's no one more great than him. I'm sure he won't mind spending a few days on your behalf for your health benefit. And Jahangir likes the sound of this. And Chandu now has got Jahangir right where he wants him. And after Jahangir conversing with Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, Guru Sahib agrees, and it's important to understand that they were not arrested, they went willingly, but they said something very important to Jahangir, and they said that you don't have no illness within you, the disease, the illness is within your house and within your court, referring to Chandu Shah and the pain that he's inflicting upon Jahangir for what's about to come. And again, Sad Singh Ji, this is about a year after the initial meet, and we're looking now at the time of Vaisakhi in 1617. So there's a picture of Gwalior Kila. It still stands today. I believe it's a museum now. It's a very beautiful fort within Agra. But in that time, under Mughal regime, it was used as a prison for anyone the Mughals needed to keep there. So we see that Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji willingly enters Gwalior fort, and they also take Panj Singh with them. They take 5 Gursikhs with them, who we'll talk about in a second. And here, Sad Sangati, we see another mini Sakhi within this Sakhi of Bandi Chhorr. And the gatekeeper at Gwalior Kila, Gwalior Fort, was a Gursikh called Hardas. And even the name Hardas has a lot of importance within it. If we break the name Hardas up into Harida Das, Haris Das, the servant of Waheguru, the servant of Guru, it all starts to come together very, very beautifully. Now, the story with Hardas was such that because of his duty at Gwalior Kila, after looking after the prisoners, he was the head guard. He'd never had the chance to leave and actually go and see Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji in Punjab. And he had a itcha, he had a longing. He would do Ardas often to say, Guru Sahib, please bless me with the darshan. I don't know when I'm going to get the chance to come and meet you because of my kam, my kirt, and my work. But please give me the chance. And he would yearn for the darshan of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. So within this whole big story, we see Guru Sahib satisfying the Ardasa of their Sikh, and Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji themselves coming to meet Hardas within this story. Now, Chandu has got Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, well, they believed they had Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji exactly where they wanted them. And he employs many, many people, assassins, cooks, in an attempt to try and assassinate Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji within the fort, poison the food of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. But because Hardas was the main gatekeeper, he himself knew when something wasn't quite right and made sure none of these attempts were successful. Also at the time, there were 52 other Raje. These kings were mainly of Hindu inheritance, Hindu background, and they had their own principalities, they had their own domains, they had their own kingdoms, and they would have been arrested for an array of things. It might have been because they didn't agree to the tax that Jahangir was implementing. It could have been that they didn't obey one of Jahangir's orders, one of his hukams. Maybe they didn't send soldiers to the Mughal army for one reason or another, or maybe Jahangir saw them as a threat. These Raje were imprisoned unlawfully and when they shouldn't have been. So as Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji enters that fort, obviously wherever the Guru goes, they have a profound effect on the Sangat that are in their charan. And they start doing kirtan, they start doing katha. And also we're going to turn our attention towards those Panch Sikh, Bhai Jetha Ji, Bhai Paira Ji, Baba Bidhi Chand, Bhai Pirana and Bhai Raju. They were given the hukam by Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji to go out every day, work in the local area, make enough food, and then to prepare langar and deg, Ra Prashadi deg, and bring it into the fort. And not only do the seva of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, but also do the seva of those other Raje as well. So in essence, Gwalior Kila became a Gurdwara. And those Raje that had been downtrodden, that had been treated very, very in a very, very bad sense, that had been deprived of food and water, they were now blessed by Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, and they as well fell into the charan of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji and became their Sikh. So at this point, we have Mata Ganga Ji, their mother, and the male of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, who had just been through a massive experience in the Shahidi of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. She's now seen her son leave towards Delhi and is imagining the worst, imagining a very similar fate to maybe Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And she is getting very, very worried because those 40 days had passed. And Chandu was trying very, very hard, and for a very, very short time, he was successful at diverting the attention away from Jahangir whenever the topic of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji would arise. And because of the power he held within the court of Lahore and the court of Delhi, Jahangir's mind was taken off it for a short while. Now at that point, Mata Ganga Ji actually sends Baba Buddha Ji, who is a very famous Gursikh and did seva of the first 6 Guru Sahibs, along with 2,000 soldiers and Bhai Gurdas Ji, to go and break down the fort of Gwalior and release Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And it's said that this was one of the many first forms of a Nagar Kirtan happening within Gursikhi. Because as they approached the Gwalior Kila, they would walk around and do a parkarma around Gwalior Kila and sing Kirtan and do darshan shabads. And this in itself became a small Nagar Kirtan. And within Itihas, this is one of the first occurrences of that. And Baba Buddha Ji goes and speaks to Guru Har Gobind Sahib. He says, Guru Sahib, Mata Ji is very, very worried. What should we tell her? She sent us and she said, don't return without Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. What should we do? Should we attack the fort and break you out? At that point, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji chuckles and laughs and said, Baba Buddha Ji, do you think that if I wanted to get out of here, I needed some assistance for that? If I wanted to truly get out of there, I would have got out myself. I'm not here under anyone's law or anyone else's instruction. I'm here at my own kushi and because I want to. And there's still further things I need to do. So tell Mata Ji, we're sitting in our kushi and very, very soon we'll be back in Punjab. And quite a lot of that Sangat actually stayed around Gwalior Kira, and also Sangat from Delhi and Agra came and daily would sing Shabads outside of Gwalior Kira, just as many Gurukars and Gursikhs do before Guru Sahib comes out of Sachkhand every morning and every evening. So now we take our minds back to Jahangir. In the state of Jahangir, Chandu is very happy now. His attempts haven't quite worked in terms of killing Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, but he believes he has Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji trapped where they can't do anything. And he keeps telling messages to preoccupy the mind of Jahangir, and if the topic arises, take his mind off it. And around 2 months have passed now, so well over that 40-day initial agreement. And at this point, one of those Panj Gursikh, Bhai Jetha Ji, who was the same Bhai Jetha Ji who brought the cease of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj back to Punjab, he pays Jahangir a visit. Now, Sad Sangat is very important to understand that the state of Gursikhs becomes the same state as the Guru. Har har jandu ek hai, bib vichar ka chnahe, jalte objatrang ji o jal hi bikhe samahe. Within Gurbani, we hear that har har jandu ek hai, that Hari, Waheguru, and the Harjan, the Sevaks of Waheguru, from two they become one. Bib vichar ka chnahe. There's not even a tiny bit of difference between them. And also Guru Sahib manifests within their own Gursikhs and also blesses their own Gursikhs with whatever they need, whether it be worldly things or spiritual things. And as we've heard through Itihas and even Gursikhs of today, through this Gursikhi, they accumulate many, many spiritual powers. Atara Siddhi, there's actually 18 different types of powers Gurbani talks about. And there are many Panktiyan that also comment on this. So Bhai Jethar Ji was a very, very Puran Gursikh. They had a lot of spiritual wealth, a lot of seva and simran behind them. And they, as a result of being one of the Guru's main sevadars, had accumulated a lot of spiritual wealth. One of the things they could do is they could transport, teleport, if you like, and also visit people within their dreams and make it such that it felt like a reality to the person sleeping. And that's exactly what Bhai Jethar did after getting annoyed with Jahangir for not sticking up to his word. So Bhai Jethar Ji arrives in Jahangir's dream one night as a lion and takes on the saroop of a lion. Now Jahangir is also recalling that instance in the forest where a lion had already attacked him, and that was quite a traumatic experience for Jahangir in the first place. So this lion goes to attack Jahangir, and again he shouts out the name Tan Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And after hearing this, Bhai Jethar Ji backs down and the dream finishes. Now Jahangir wakes up from his room, and it's as if a lion has entered his room, somehow got past all the guards and was about to kill him. So he was terrified, and he woke up shaking and ordered extra security to be put around his room that night. The same thing happened the next night, and many of people within his fort, many people bribed by Chandu, assured him that it was probably just a bad dream, and also used this as an excuse to say, look, that disease still hasn't gone here. You're having bad omens. You need to keep Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji in there even longer because something's still quite not right. So the second night emerges and the same thing happens. And after hearing the name of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, Bhai Jethar Ji obviously backs down, because even Guru Sikh, even a Dushta Papi, a Murak, even they can be saved by Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji's name or the Guru's name. And that Guru Sikh has no authority to attack anyone that takes blessings from the Guru. So then after the second instance, now Jahangir is getting seriously paranoid as to how is this lion entering my room? How is he getting through? And he even goes to the extent of barricading his whole room with thick iron, thick metal, so that no one can physically get in. And upon the third night, the exact same happens. And now at this point, Jahangir is fearing for his life and is totally freaked out. So Jahangir at that point has no idea what to do, and he goes to meet a Pir Mian Mir, or Sai Mian Mir, also as they're known. And Sai Mian Mir was a Sufi saint and also had a lot of bharosa in Waheguru, had a lot of bharosa in the Guru Sahibs, and recognized Guru Sahib for being Waheguru upon earth and knew who they were. And upon asking Sai Mian Mir quite simply responded with that, the reason all this dukh is coming into your life is because you're trying to hurt a Puran Brahmgyani, a Puran saint, Waheguru upon this earth. And as soon as you release them and rectify your wrongdoings, this will all go away. And at that point, Chandu again is trembling now because Jahangir is adamant that they're going to let Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji out. Sai Mian Mir also goes to the extent that because the darshan, the sangat are in so much dukh because they can't have the darshan of Guru Sahib, all of that dukh is falling upon you because you are the reason for it. So now we go towards the Sakhi of Bandi Chhorr, and Jahangir sends that same Wazir Khan that became the one that had bharosa in Guru Sahib Ji to Gwalior Fort with the good news to release Guru Sahib. And upon hearing this, all the Raje that had experienced so much bliss now in this Gurdwara that had been created as Guru Sahib entered, they fell and grabbed the feet of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, saying, Guru Sahib, please don't leave us here. If you leave, there will be no future for us. And at that point, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj said that we never leave anyone from our charan. Any Sikh that has taken faith within us and belongs to us, we will never leave, even if I have to save them millions of times. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj has said similar things about bachans and taking Amrit. That even if it takes 10,000 times, any Guru Sikh of mine that takes Amrit, I will always give them another life within the house of a Guru Sikh to try again. Now we come to that Sakhi in which the part we may have all heard, where Wazir Khan goes back to Jahangir, and Jahangir is now in this ultimatum. I need Guru Sahib out, but Guru Sahib is not leaving without all the rest of the Raje. So he poses the condition to try and be clever, to say that whoever can hold on to your chola, whoever can hold on to your robe, they can leave with you. And they thought a max 3 or 4 Raje might end up escaping. And that's fine. Damage limitation if you like. And then we hear the Sakhi of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji commissioning a chola with 50 tassels and 1 tassel around the chola and also 1 tassel on each sleeve to be made in order to free each of these Raje that were unlawfully imprisoned. And in 1716, after all of this, Jahangir himself goes up to Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj and asks for forgiveness. And here we see a picture of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj leaving Gwalior Kila with all of those Raje. So just finishing this Sad Sangat Ji, and as we, for the next few minutes, just finish off, and then we're going to do a Chaupai Sahib for the chardikala of Jagtar Singh Johal, who's still being contained by the Indian authorities within India. It's quite important Sakhi, many things we can take from here, but one of those is that once we become a child of the Guru, a Sikh of the Guru, no matter what our background of might have been, those Raje were not born into Guru Sikh families. There might be some people here in the Sangat that haven't come from a Sikh background. But Guru Sahib, out of many things they tell us from this Sakhi, one of them is that no matter where we've come from, no matter how many bad things we might think we have done, once we attach ourselves to Guru Sahib's charan, we're theirs forever. Now it's important to realize that what's the definition, I guess, of a Sikh? And for me personally, and Guru Sahib says that whoever does uddam, whoever tries and makes an effort within this path, they can call themselves a Sikh. Now that in itself, you will judge personally, but the efforts we should try and be striving for, one of them is coming to see Guruji, listening to Katha, listening to Kirtan, getting involved in Seva where we can, and also developing our own spiritual sense according to Sikhi. Now, we all come from very different backgrounds, and we all have a lot of luggage with us ourselves in terms of the karam and the things we've done in our past lives. So for some people, it will work much quicker. For some people, it will take a lot longer. But the important thing to remember is that it's not a race. And as long as we're all making a conscious effort regularly, as much as we can, within our limitations, then Guru Sahib will never leave us. Now, one of the Guru Sikhs I want to talk about just as we finish off, because quite often a lot of people, and when I came into Sikhi as well, these stories from many, many years ago, is very hard to relate to, especially if Sikhi isn't in your household and you might be hearing these things for the first time. But when hearing about Chorasi 1984 and even more modern history, Maharaja Ranjit Singh and the Guru Sikh Sakali Fulla Singh Ji of that time, Jastar Singh Ji Ahluwalia, you realize that these things weren't just for the 1500s, 1600s. These things still continue now because we have the same Guru, we have the same Bani, and we have the same blessings available to us. And one Guru Sikh I want to talk about before we round up, who's very, very recent, the last 30 years, with Jathedar Shaheed Jagtar Singh Ji Brahma. And they also have a very close link to Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji as well. So there's a Sakhi of Baba Bidhi Chand being saved by Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji after stealing back the horses of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji and also stealing back the kapade, the ramale that Sangat had brought from Kabul for Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And cutting the story very, very short, is that after taking the kapade, these lovely, lovely bastar, robbing them back from a Mughal, the Mughal authorities were chasing Baba Bidhi Chand, and Baba Bidhi Chand was looking for somewhere to hide. And the only place they could find was someone making popcorn and someone making mirtiai at the time. And they had a kiln or a furnace, a naked flame, if you like. And they jumped within it. And they said, "Dhan Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, please save me. I got nowhere else to go. I'm going to sit on this fire because it's the only place I can hide." And the Mughals ran straight past it. And at that point, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji was with their Sikh in a totally different place in Amritsar, I believe. And that instance, they gave a hukam to their Gursikhs to go and get Thanda Jal, go and get Thanda Pani. And the Gursikhs were thinking, why is Guru Sahib, said Guru Sahib nu, maybe they're thirsty. They don't normally have an ishan at this time of the day. And they asked for a few pitchers of Pani. And as soon as the Gursikhs brought it, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji said, "Mere sir te pao, put it on my head." They're like, "What? Guru Sahib, you got your kapade on and stuff as well?" And they said, "Chalo sat bachan." And they poured that Thanda Jal all over Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And after they said, "Guru Sahib, why did you get us to do that?" And Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji said, "Baba Bidhi Chand, unhonu ag lagi si. But the thand that I was feeling from that Jal, onate la ditta." Such is the power and the kirpa of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji that no matter where their Gursikhs are, they defend them. So Baba Bidhi Chand had a lineage that even exists today. We have Baba Jagtar Singh Ji, who is the Jathedar of that lineage, of that group, if you like, of that Jatha. And Bhai Jagtar Singh Ji Brahma was a Sikh. He had learned from that school of thought, from the Dal of Baba Bidhi Chand, from the army of Baba Bidhi Chand, if you like. So they had a very close connection from Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, as we all do as Gursikhs. And Bhai Jagtar Singh Ji Brahma is said was such a Gursikh that they would have a jaap of more than 10 Chandi Diwars a day. And they were a freedom fighter after the insurgency, after the attack on Sikhi following 1984 up until 1993. And they were one of the many Gursikhs that took to the streets to fight back and take justice upon the innocents that were being raped, looted and killed. And there was a massive bounty upon their head. It's even said that they were so powerful, with an AK-47, they were able to shoot down a helicopter that was after them in one instance. And at one point, they'd been surrounded, and there were quite a few, around 2,000 army personnel surrounding that village because of the stake that was on this mission. If they would catch Bhai Jagtar Singh Ji Brahma, he was one of their main targets. So what ends up happening is there's bullet fire coming from left, right, and center within this village. And at that point, a lot of the Singhs with Bhai Jagtar Singh Ji Brahma became shaheed. And it even came to the point where one of their fingers was shot off. And if you look closely in this picture here, I'll put my cursor over it, you can see they're actually missing one finger. That was from that encounter. And at that point, when that bullet cut off their finger, they did a binti to Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, say, "Guru Sahib, just as you saved Baba Bidhi Chand, hun sanu bachao, please protect me." And upon that ardas, they knew that they had no other way to get out of this trap but fight through. And they let off as many bullets as they could and just ran and found an escape route. And things happened so quick that as they got back to the other Gursikhs and they were safe and sound, as approaching those Gursikhs, the Gursikhs ran over and they started tapping Baba Jagtar Singh Ji, and they were checking to see if they were okay. Now Bhai Jagtar Singh Ji was like, "What's wrong with you guys? What are you doing?" And they said, "Bhai Sahib, your chola, you're the star. It's got bullet holes throughout it." And they said, "Sart tani lagi, where are you bleeding?" And at that point, Bhai Jagtar Singh Ji Brahma had been so immersed in all the fighting and everything that they hadn't realized that they'd actually been shot throughout the front of their chola, throughout the back of their chola, and even the star had bullet holes in it. And upon examining, due to the kirpa of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, not one bullet had actually pierced their skin. And they remained absolutely fine. So in the exact same way, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj blessed Gursikhs 30 years ago and continue to bless them today. And that's just one of many, many instances that came to my mind when thinking about Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj. And you can read more about the Jivan of those Khargu Singhs on sites like neverforget1984.com. So just finishing off, I mentioned Uddam, and we're going to go to the Chaupai Sahib after this. all Guru Sahib requires is Uddam. Bhai Gurdas ji mentions that Charan Sharan Gur Ek Penda Jai Chal Sadgur Kot Pada Aage Hui Leta Hai. That all Guru Sahib requires is one step towards them. And as a result, Guru Sahib will make hundreds of thousands of steps towards us. Now, we all are very, very different people. And I said, we come with a lot of different experience and baggage. So whatever you can do within your vicinity, within your power, whatever step that might be, it might be listening to the live stream of this. It might be coming to the Guru Kar. It might be doing panjment of Pandyadi Seva. Whatever it may be, it might be reading a history book, doing 5 minutes of Naam Simran every day. One thing we should all strive for is Sangat, because Sangat keeps us afloat. Having people like-minded around us is really important. Guru Sahib says, just take that one step and I'll do the rest of it for you. So Sad Sangat ji, we're now very lucky to have Darshan Kaur, who's going to do Chaupai Sahib Jaap for us, Kirtan Roop, for the chardikala of Jagtar Singh Johal. I'm going to do Samapti here. Just to let you know the program after, in around 40 minutes, so after Darshan Kaur is finished in about 30 minutes, for anyone that's online, and at 7:30 for those of you that are here, we're going to be upstairs doing a presentation discussion / Q&A regarding November 1984 and the Kalukara, the genocide that took place in this week that we're currently remembering. And also we'll have a general Q&A as well. So Beintiya, we are going to start promptly at 7:30 because Das and Bob and Singh have come from Birmingham. So we will be heading straight back up after. So Thodi Jaranat Beintiya, if we could all be prompt for 7:30, that would be great. So Pullana Chitarniya Maaf Karna, if there were any mistakes, we have to Sangat for their Sisa. And we again thank the Parbandha for giving us this time. And again, above all, thank Guru Sahib for the Khushiyan. So Deho Sajana Sisriyan, Jo Hoye Sahib Se Umel, Kin Kila Na Chutiya, Kin Pullanhar, Bakshanahara Bakshla, Nanak Par Utar, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਕਬਿਓ ਬਾਚ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਚੌਪੇ ਹਮਰੀ ਕਰੋ हाथ दे रक्षा पूर्ण होए चित्त की इच्छा तब चरणन मन रहे हमारा अपना जान करो प्रतिपार हमारे दुष्ट सबे तुम कावो आप हाथ दे मोए बचाव सखी बसै मोरो परिवार सेवक सिख सबे करतार मोर इच्छा निज कर दे करिए सब बैरन को आज संगरिए पूर्ण होए हमारी आशा तूर भजन की रहे प्यासा तुम्हें छाड़ कोई अब न त्याऊं जो बचाऊं से तुम ते पाओ सेवक सिख हमारे तारे चुन चुन सत्र हमारे मारे आप हाथ दे मुझे उबरिया मरण काल का त्रास निवरिया जो सदा हमारे पच्छा सिरियस्त जो करियो रक्षा राख ले हो मोए किनारे साहिब संत सहाय प्यार तीन बंद स्तन के हंता तुम हो पुरी चतुर्दश कंता काल पाए बपतरा काल पाए शिवजू अवतारा काल पाए कर विष्णु प्रकाशा सकल काल का किया तमाशा नमस्कार सब जग कियो वेद राज ब्रह्मा ज्योति जगन काल सब लोक सवा नमस्कार है ताए हमारा काल सब जगत बनायो देव दैत्य छन्न पुजायो आदि क्या पाएंगे जब ते तू मेरे तब ते को आग तेरी नहीं आई राम रहीम पुराने कुराने अनेक है मत एक न मान्यो सिमृत शास्त्र वेद से बहु वेद कह एक न जाने से पाने कृपा तू मेरी कर मैं न गयो सब तोय बखाने तोरा सगल द्वार को छाड़ कर कहो तुम्हारो द्वार पाएंगे की लाज अस गोविंदास तुम्हार सगल द्वार को छाड़ कर कहो तुम्हारो द्वार पाएंगे की लाज अस गोविंदास तुम्हार वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह yeah. राम कलिया महला तीजा आनंद एक ओंकार श्री वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह सतगुर प्रसाद राम खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह आनंद पिया मेरी
सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जी राम कली महला तीजा आनंद एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद आनंद भया मेरी माए सतगुरु मैं पाया सतगुर तां